some shows, but apparently another Las Vegas residency will not be in the cards for her likely. Sources are saying the entertainment capital isn't welcoming her back with open arms.
Katy Perry's star power might still shimmer on old playlists, but behind the scenes, things are looking far from firework bright. In a shocking twist that's making serious waves in the pop world, the teenage dream diva has reportedly been snubbed from returning to Las Vegas for another residency. And the reason? It's crazier than you think. Remember that much-hyped all-female Blue Origin space trip back in April?
Today, Katy Perry went to space, but you didn't have that on your 2025 bingo card. She sang in space and she launched her tour set list mid-flight before hurtling back to Earth with a daisy.
Her dramatic Blue Origin joyride aboard the New Shepard NS-31 mission should have been a headline-making moment of triumph. Floating in zero gravity, holding a daisy as a tribute to her daughter Daisy Dove, it had all the makings of a feel-good galactic girl power moment.
Lasting all of 10 minutes, but enough time to enter zero gravity.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
But when Katy knelt to the ground after touching down, clutching the flower to the sky, and proclaiming she felt super connected to love, the internet didn't exactly swoon.
Pop singer Katy Perry is officially an astronaut.
Katy!
And very happy to be back on Earth.
They were actually disgusted. While Katy tried to wax poetic about making space for future women and taking up space and belonging, critics weren't buying the cosmic kumbaya. The timing was brutal. Her celestial stunt happened just days after real-life NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore returned from a harrowing 9-month stay stranded in space. The contrast was not flattering. Katy was quickly branded tone-deaf, dramatic, and worse. Things got worse when she thanked a reporter who mistakenly called her an astronaut. Let's just say the space community wasn't amused, and you best believe social media didn't hold back. Critics roasted the pop star for what they called an out-of-touch vanity stunt, especially at a time when many are still grappling with real-world struggles. Now, this incident has also ruined her chances of working in Las Vegas. You see, in the past, Katy Perry's Vegas residency was nothing short of legendary. She had a 3-year reign from 2021 to 2023, during which she lit up the Resorts World Theater and owned the Strip like a true queen. Katy lived for those Vegas nights, calling the city her second home, a glittering playground just a short trip from her California roots. She even dreamed of coming back year after year, making Sin City her go-to spot between tours and albums. Of course, Vegas wasn't just about music for Katy. It was a legacy tied to her family's roots, from her dad growing up there to her parents meeting and marrying in the city. Even her grandmother sewed costumes for the Strip, and her aunt once shone as a Stardust showgirl. It was in her blood, and she gave the city her all. Then came June 8th, 2022, and Katy even got the ultimate nod, a key to the Las Vegas Strip. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The spotlight on Katy's Vegas residency has suddenly been snatched away. Fresh off that controversial mission to the stars, Katy launched her Lifetimes tour, meant to celebrate her 7th studio album, 143. But instead of hitting high notes, it hit a wall. Critics slammed the album almost instantly, calling it uninspired and forgettable. The tour followed suit, stumbling from the very start. Literally, at the opening show in Minnesota, fans were left waiting for hours due to delays, only to be met with underwhelming performances and poor production.
And that Las Vegas residency that she just wrapped, it quite simply wasn't the monetary success that they had needed to justify its existence.
Not the kind of star-studded experience they were expecting, The turnout was so bad that the dates for the tour kept getting canceled, and the ticket sales also slumped hard. Now, the internet wasted no time turning her big return into a meme-worthy mess. Instead of rave reviews, the California girl singer was bombarded with brutal commentary, accusing her of serving lazy town realness and moving like a malfunctioning Barbie doll. Social media had a field day after clips from her latest performances went viral. Not the mom moves, one user cringed, while another threw shade. Maybe she should have spent less time in space and more time rehearsing. And it didn't stop there. One savage comparison read, "She moves like my cat when she's cleaning herself." Trying to get ahead of the narrative, Perry posted behind-the-scenes footage to Instagram, revealing she'd been battling a flu cold thing that affected her vocals and energy. But that didn't stop the online roasting from reaching a fever pitch. Now fans are wondering, has Katy's time in space left her a little too spaced out for the stage? Then came the biggest blow yet. Insiders are whispering that Resorts World Las Vegas has shut the door firmly on any plans to bring Katy back for another residency. According to sources close to the situation, her last run at the venue was branded a disaster behind closed doors. It's become a money-losing mess the hotel never wants to relive, and Resorts World is not singing along anymore. The thing is, when Katy launched her larger-than-life play residency at Resorts World Las Vegas in late 2021, the buzz was electric. electric. It was a surreal, candy-coated dreamscape with oversized furniture, dancing plungers, and bubblegum theatrics. Katy herself hyped it as the kookiest, most camp show she'd ever done. And honestly, it was. But what looked like pop fantasy on stage has now been revealed as a financial nightmare behind the curtain. She was a complete failure for Resorts World. One insider bluntly told News Nation's Paula Froelich. After beating out Caesar's Palace in a dramatic bidding war, Resorts World locked Katy in with a jaw-dropping paycheck, between $750,000 to $900,000 per show.
And I'm hearing that they are so unhappy they just got burned. And a source told me that by losing Katy Perry in the bidding battle, Caesars actually won.
That's high roller money for a pop princess. But instead of a golden ticket, Resorts World got stuck footing the bill for a spectacle that didn't deliver, despite a playlist stacked with hits. California Girls, Roar, Teenage Dream, I Kissed a Girl, Firework. The Residency reportedly underperformed. Big time. Insiders say the venue lost money on the whole run, with attendance and buzz never matching the massive investment. And in the end, Caesars, who initially lost the bidding war, are apparently having the last laugh. To make it sting even more, all of this is unfolding as Katy's career takes hit after hit, especially after her trip to space. But the turbulence didn't end when she returned to Earth. Her Lifetimes tour, meant to reboot her pop reign and promote her album 143, has been plagued with whispers of imitation. Accusations of copying Taylor Swift and Sabrina Carpenter's stage aesthetics have swirled online, and critics have called the performances forgettable, despite a few sold-out dates. Add that to the album's poor reviews, shaky ticket sales, and canceled stops, and the shine has seriously dulled. Still, Katy tried to redeem herself. At a recent concert at Chicago's United Center, she paused mid-show and addressed the elephant in the room, her status as a public enemy pop star. "I thought I was the most hated person on the internet," she admitted. "I think that's false."
Well, I thought I was the most hated person on the internet. I think that's false. Chicago was good!
The crowd roared in support, but the moment felt less like a comeback and more like a plea. The stage might have felt shaky, but Katy's gaze was still sky high. For nearly 2 decades, Katy had her eyes set on the stars. And no, not the ones in Hollywood. We're talking full-on rocket launches and zero gravity. "I was investigating all of the possible commercial options," she told Elle ahead of her big galactic debut. "Even when Blue Origin was first talking about commercial travel to space, I was like, sign me up. I'm first in line," she said, and she wasn't kidding. Back in 2010, she dropped $200,000 on a Virgin Galactic ticket. By 2025, the dream was finally real. After touching the stars, she returned with fire in her veins. No longer just chasing dreams, Katy re-entered the atmosphere ready to confront the critics. The moment her boots touched the stage in Mexico City on April 23rd, the E.T. singer made it crystal clear she's heard the backlash, and she's not letting the noise eclipse her glow. "Has anyone ever called your dreams crazy?" she asked the roaring crowd during her space-themed concert. The answer was obvious. Katy's dream was space travel, and people definitely called it crazy. But she didn't stop at words. She called up 2 fans dressed in blue spacesuits, her kind of people. "I want these gentlemen to come on stage," she said with a wink, "because they are dressed like my most current timeline. Let's rewind." Long before she became a pop goddess, Katy had her eyes on the cosmos. "I've wanted to go to space for almost 20 years, she told Elle before the April 14th launch. For nearly 2 decades, Katy had her eyes set on the stars. And no, not the ones in Hollywood. We're talking full-on rocket launches and zero gravity. "I was investigating all of the possible commercial options," she told Elle ahead of her big galactic debut. "Even when Blue Origin was first talking about commercial travel to space, I was like, sign me up. I'm first in line," she said, and she wasn't kidding. Back in 2010, she dropped $200,000 on a Virgin Galactic ticket. By 2025, the dream was finally real.
Believing your dreams and saying that is actually how you make your dreams come true.
But not everyone saw it that way. Almost as soon as the photos landed, so did the backlash. Critics called it a publicity stunt dressed up as feminism. The countdown hadn't even hit 0, and already the claws were out. Before Blue Origin's NS-31 flight could blast off with its headline-making all-female crew, Hollywood's elite were already launching their own verbal missiles. Actress Olivia Munn didn't hold back while co-hosting Today with Jenna and Friends on April 3rd. With a raised eyebrow and a sharper tongue, she questioned the point of the entire mission, calling it gluttonous. She wasn't buying the glitz, To her, it wasn't groundbreaking. It was a joyride cloaked in PR sparkle. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here? She asked. But Munn wasn't alone in her side-eye. On April 14, 2025, just as the internet was still catching its breath from Katy Perry's headline-making Blue Origin spaceflight, Megyn Kelly swooped in with a sizzling comment. The outspoken journalist didn't hold back when she visibly could not help herself from laughing at the silly tasks the women boarding the spaceflight were asked to do as training. In a single snark-laced sentence, Kelly dragged the entire mission down from orbit. Their training was learning how to get in and out of the craft.
Now it's like they had to learn how to get in and out, but they dressed it up on the one thing by saying they had to learn egress and ingress.
Olivia Wilde, Amy Schumer, and even fast food giant Wendy's joined the roast session.
Katy Perry wrote, Katy Perry just returned from space. Wendy posted, Wendy's, the fast food chain. Yeah. Can we send her back?
Although the comment was later criticized for being too mean, it also gathered millions of likes from netizens who clearly agreed with the sentiment.
The snarky comment by the fast food chain had a surprising amount of support, with 1.9 million views and 52,000 people liking the post.
Then, in came Jessica Chastain with an intellectual mic drop. The Oscar winner took to X on April 17th to share a searing op-ed from The Guardian titled, "The Blue Origin Flight Showcased the Utter Defeat of American Feminism." A brutal headline made even sharper by Chastain's silent endorsement. Even Emily Ratajkowski didn't hold back, blasting the mission as nothing more than a shiny distraction. According to her, it looked like progress, but it was really just space tourism for the rich and famous.
The traditional ringing of the bell, as we've seen in years gone by, as they all get on board the spacecraft, that's what they have to do. That's tradition. You've got to stick by it.
She slammed Jeff Bezos for sending his fiancée and a handful of celebrity women to space, while most people on Earth were scrambling to pay rent or feed their kids. Despite the whirlwind of opinions, the women involved insisted there was substance behind the sparkle. Fresh off their 11-minute suborbital trip aboard Blue Origin's NS-31 flight, the all-female crew was ready to reclaim the narrative. CBS icon Gayle King led the charge. She waved off the critics like space dust, turning the spotlight back on the true impact of the mission. We can all speak to the response we're getting from young women and girls. And get that. That's what this really represents.
I'm not going to let you steal our joy, but most people are really excited and cheering us on and realize what this mission means to young women, young girls, and boys too.
Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' fiancée and fellow passenger, didn't mince words either. Fired up and fierce, she challenged the haters to actually see what goes on behind the scenes at Blue Origin. "I would love to have them come to Blue Origin," she declared, describing the thousands of engineers who pour heart and soul into every bolt and blueprint. Former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe brought the receipts, scientific ones. With all the elegance of a woman who's been in the lab and beyond, she reminded the world this wasn't just a joyride. "We advanced science today," Bowe explained. "We collected data, we added to the knowledge base of what people know about women in space. That's meaningful." And as the headlines kept rolling and hot takes piled up, Gayle King delivered the final word like a mic drop in a moon crater. "I know there are some haters, but I'm not going to let people steal my joy, or the joy of what we accomplished that day." As the online world spun itself into a frenzy over her space adventure, Perry took a moment to ground herself and her fans too. Sharing a heartfelt message, she reminded everyone that she's grown up in the spotlight, but behind the glitz, she's still just a human navigating life. Mistakes, wins, and all. Yes, she admits she's fallen many times, but each time, she gets back up, dusts off the glitter, and keeps going. And while the trolls try to turn her into a human piñata, she sees through it. To her, the hate says more about the pain people are carrying than anything she's done. The internet, she wrote, has become a dumping ground for the unhinged and unhealed, and yet she meets it all with love. With her Lifetime's tour now in full swing, the roar and fireworks singer is ready to swap online noise for real-life connection. She's hitting stages across the globe in the US, Canada, South America, Europe, UAE, and soaking up the energy of fans who've grown up with her.